Hey guys, what's going on? It's Nate, 7 Run Aquatics, and today I am going to bring you a video profile on my 15-gallon Cacatuoides Biotope. So I've got the camera set up here so you guys can see the tank pretty well. The light's a little bright, so I had to point it way down, and but yeah, let's go ahead and get started here. So like I said, this is a 15-gallon tank. I'm going to just go ahead and get into a little bit of the some of the equipment that I have on it, what it's running, just so you can kind of get an idea if you're looking to do something similar. You can kind of gauge what you're going to need to get. A lot of the products that I buy tend to be more top of the line. You don't have to do this as long as it's comparable. But let's start off with the first thing, which is going to be the filter. And that's just right over here, kind of flat on the back. It's a hang on the back, so you know, nothing fancy as far as filtration goes. It is a Fluval Aqua Clear 20, so it's ready for a 20-gallon tank. And I just have the original sponge filter. I don't use the carbon that comes with them because I only use that to remove medication if I need to. And then instead of putting the carbon in there, I've got 3 bags of biological media, which is really important, obviously. Next thing I have, which is hidden away in the left corner by the filter tube, is the 100 watt high door heater. I keep that set to 78 degrees at all times, and I have it set there just specifically because it's good for breeding purposes a lot of times. If it's too high or too low, at least with the pistogrammas, and I know with a lot of other fish species, you're going to get more males or more females depending on your temperature. So higher temperatures, you're going to get more males, lower temperatures, more females. 78 degrees is kind of a good middle ground to work with as far as getting an even distribution of males and females. The next thing, also not fancy, is going to be the whisper pump that I have underneath my stand, and just have that attached. I actually have a baby brine shrimp hatchery on the bottom part of my stand, so it's split off into that, as well as I have a sponge filter over here in the, over here in this corner, yeah. And that also provides a, you know, I wouldn't say significant, but a portion of the biological filtration that I have going on in this tank. You'll also notice this isn't very traditional, although it is getting a little more popular in the hobby, I think. People are using desk lamps for their lighting, and CFL bulbs, particularly a lot in the Planet Tank hobby. You're going to get more of this, and I actually have like 5 clip-on lamps on my 50-gallon, which is a Planet Tank with the 6500K bulbs in it. And then lastly, as far as, I guess, equipment goes, I have painted the sides as well as the back with Plastidip, which I highly recommend for anybody looking for a background. The stuff goes on really easy, it looks great, and it's cheap. I think you can get it for $5, $6, $7, at least in my area you can, and it peels off really easy. So if you want to change the color or you don't like it, you can always switch it up. Okay. So now moving on, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the hardscape of this tank. Starting off with the wood that I have in here. I actually have a location that I go to that's an hour away from my house, and get the bulk of my hardscape wood, rocks, and stuff like that from this location. So I have about 6, 7, or 8 pieces in there, and the whole goal I was going for was kind of a sunken forest. And you'll notice that I have a piece sticking out right here. I kind of like that aspect of this tank, and it brings kind of a multi-dimensional layering aspect to it, which a lot of people think is cool. Okay, and sorry, I'm looking down here at my iPad at my notes, so if you see me looking down, that's just what I'm doing. Next thing that you're going to notice is I have a lot of oak leaves. And oak leaves are important, at least, especially with the pistogrammas and a lot of South American species, because they tannin the water, so they make the water darker, and it's almost a tea color, and then also it helps lower the pH along with the wood. And epistogrammas generally like a pH of, well, they can go down to pHs of almost 4, but I'll get into the specifics of my water parameters a little later on in the video. The next thing is my substrate, which is just a white play sand from Home Depot. It was probably a 25-pound bag for like $3. So it's very practical, and I'm all about getting things and doing things as cheap as I can and as effectively as I can. So that was definitely a win on my part, and I would highly recommend it to you guys. However, do make sure that you wash the gravel very well before adding it to your tank, otherwise you're going to get a lot of clouding and stuff like that. Next thing we're going to look at is my stocking. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you already know that this is an Epistogramma Cacatuoides Biotope. So I have one male Epistogramma Cacatuoides that I actually sourced from a friend the next state over that I met through Facebook. And his business is called the Cichlid Garden, and I'll leave a link for his website in the description below. He sells leaves, hardscape for Epistogramma biotopes as well as Epistogrammas themselves. So if you're in the market, definitely go ahead and give his website a check, or give his website a look. And then obviously we have a female Epistogramma Cacatuoides in there, and currently about 50 to 80 of her fry that she's taking care of. They are about 4 to 5 days old now. They're doing pretty well, and they'll be in here with mom for about the next month or so. I like to keep the mother with the fry for a minimum of a month because it helps them learn parenting instincts, or good parenting instincts at least, and it helps them learn to be protective of fry and stuff like that. I did have some ghost shrimp in there. I actually think I have one lonely shrimp still in there. A lot of people worry about them being predatory because they are carnivorous. I didn't have any problems with them. They've all just kind of died off of old age. They were breeding in there for a while, so the 1 or 2 that I do have are the results of that breeding. And then the last thing that I have in here, or had in here, was pencilfish. But I did take them out and put them in my 29 because I was just concerned about them eating fry, and it stressed the mother, and I didn't really want to have to deal with that whole mess. And just real briefly, I want to go over just kind of what I do as far as my feeding and like what I feed and stuff like that. So the primary diet of my fish is Southern Delight Nano Krill and Southern Delight small cichlid, and this is by Aquatic Support Systems. If you don't know about Aquatic Support Systems, definitely give their website a check out, or check their website out. They've got a lot of really great stuff in regards to food, as well as some equipment that they're coming out with. As I said, also, we're going to go ahead and get into my water parameters now. A lot of people are always interested in that. So first off, my baseline pH is about 6.6 to 6.8. If I had to guess, 6.7, right in between those two. And however, my tap pH is about 7.4 to 7.6. And the wood and leaves, as I alluded to earlier, are responsible for lowering that pH. My water is naturally soft, so I don't have to deal with anything like that. But yeah, Epistogramma is like a lower pH, and 6.6 to 6.8 is a good place for them to be breeding at and living in. I'm also in well water, so I don't have to worry about chlorine or chloramines. I still dose prime as if I did. It detoxifies ammonia, ammonium, nitrate, and nitrate. And with all the organic matter that I have in my tank, controlling nitrates can be a little bit of a problem, but with my water change schedule, it's manageable, so it's not so bad. Now, in regards to my water change schedule, I do about 50% to 60% weekly, and this is for all my tanks. And I find that my fish respond well to this, and I think it's important to know that you need to know your system and just not solely the science behind it. I mean, I'm about to have a degree and environmental science and concentration in water chemistry, so regardless of what I know scientifically, knowing your system and in your individual situation is most important. So definitely go by that, not just what other people are saying the facts are. Now, if I have fry in this tank like I do now, I'm going to do 20% water changes 3 times a week. And this is because fry are extremely sensitive to changes in the water, or rapid changes in the water at least. And I add the water slowly, and this prevents them from getting stressed out and dying. So it's just good all around, and they're still getting the 60% weekly as if they weren't there and I was just doing my normal maintenance. So yeah, in essence, that's my 15-gallon Epistogramma Cacatuoides Biotope. So we've gone over my equipment, we've gone over my hardscape stocking, water conditions, and my maintenance schedule. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, please give this video a like. I really appreciate it. And comment and subscribe as well, and share if possible with your friends and in your social groups. So have a great day, and remember, it's not just a hobby, it's a lifestyle.